are at the Wellest off Broadway in Long Beach. I'm so excited to get to know Brandi, the wonderful owner of this awesome shop. The Wellest offers clean beauty skincare, pre-loved premium clothes, fair trade jewelry, boozeless booze, and home goods. Come on in, let's get to know her. Welcome back to another episode of Long Beach Livin'. I'm your host, Sarah Sadehi, and today I'm here with the one, the only, the owner of the Wellest. I'm so excited to get to know you, Brandi. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, of course. I'm so thankful that you came in and asked me to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for reaching back out.
Yeah.
I was a little worried there for a second. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you come up with, or for people who don't know, what is the Wellest?
So the Wellest is a modern mercantile, which if someone doesn't understand what that means, because it's kind of something that I created, it's like a general store of a variety of different products that cover sustainable, ethical, and health positive brands.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So cool.
So I have a variety of categories that I sell, from non-alcoholic beverages to clean skincare, beauty, bath and body, to eco-friendly home goods and fair trade jewelry. I have some clothing, some new that are like with eco materials, organic, maybe made in LA. And then also some that are, what do I like to say? It's pre-loved.
Pre-loved. That is so cute. Oh my gosh, and what does that mean?
So secondhand.
Oh, I would have never,
Yeah.
I just clicked. I got you. That's so cute.
Yeah,
Oh
just means like somebody else loved them at one point and now they're here. And, so if I do have any pre-loved clothing, that it's generally going to be premium brands.
Premium brands,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you come up with the name The Wellest? So clever.
Thank you. So it was actually came to me in a dream.
Really?
Yes, it did. I knew, years ago, I had kind of gone through a number of just health issues, really. I was having issues with glucose intolerance. I was having problems with my skincare, traditional skincare. And there were a number of things that were happening all at the same time. And I had just decided that I wanted to do something to not only change out everything that I was using, but also to help my friends and my family and people that I knew to like learn what was in the ingredients in the foods that they were eating and the products that they were putting on their skin. So long story short, basically, I kind of started looking into more of like what kind of business it would be and looking more into ingredients and like slowly but surely changing my own lifestyle. And as I was going through this whole process, woke up in the middle of the night from a dream where I had imagined having my own store, and which had not really been something that I was sure that I wanted before the dream, but I imagined having my own store, and somebody, like the place was filled with people. And somebody came up to me and said, like, I love this place. It's so amazing. What is it called? And then it just came to me.
Oh,
the name just came to me, and I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to write this down. Yeah.
Oh,
that sort of.
My gosh, that is so magical.
Yeah.
I love that. And so how long ago was that?
So the whole journey really, I'd say, started for me about 8 years ago. Now, the dream wasn't 8 years ago. I don't even remember when that exactly was. But between the first time that I started having the issues with my skin and with some of the foods that I was eating and beverages that I was consuming and whatnot, that was about 8 years ago. And then I kind of went on this journey of discovery and deciding, what my future was going to look like.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, how long have you been at this location?
So this location in Long Beach opened up at the end of April of this year.
Oh my
So,
gosh, you
yes,
knew.
yes, very
Oh my
new.
gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And what made you pick this neighborhood?
So I'm from Long Beach, and interestingly enough, when I was a baby, my mom told me that we used to live we actually lived in a couple of places. We lived off of Third, or on Third at one point. We lived off of Fourth, and then we lived on, I think, like on Orange off of Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So just within the first year of like me being here in this world, we lived in a couple of different places, and it was all sort of around this area. So that's one thing. The other thing is that I love the community vibe here. I love that everything's walkable. I lived in LA for quite some time, and lived in an area where the grocery store was 2 blocks away. Like the little cafe was right next door to my apartment building,
Yeah.
And I loved that sort of like city sort of vibe. But yet, because being here, it's not like you're not in the heart of the city, like you're not downtown. There's the houses, there's
the water right there.
Yeah, the water's everything about this neighborhood felt right.
Aww.
Yeah.
And do you live nearby?
I'm in the east sort of part of Long Beach, so yeah, not far away, like 12 minutes ish.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, so I know you just talked about a little bit, like you are kind of originally from Long Beach, but where are you where did you grow up?
In Long Beach. Yeah.
Long Beach? Oh, yes. So you did grow up in
Long
Beach.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Born and raised in Long Beach. And then I lived out in LA, in my 20s,
I feel that.
Kind of want to get out and explore a little bit more, but yeah. And then I came back, and I love it here.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Me too.
Yeah.
We moved here maybe 3 years ago, and I love it.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, to me, there's no city like Long Beach. And I've traveled all across the US. I actually worked in the tourism industry for a while. So I was able to travel to, different countries and different, just completely different lifestyles. And everywhere that I've been, Long Beach just has, it's you feel like it has a little bit of the city thing. It has the beach vibe. People are chill. There's a lot of creativity here. You just don't find this there's the different cultural groups.
Yep.
So cool, and you just don't find that in a lot of other places.
You don't. Yeah.
Unless you're in a huge city.
Yeah.
But then if you're in the huge city, then you have a lot of traffic, and you have here it's pretty easy to get to the grocery store. You don't have to fight. The traffic is, on the streets every day.
Exactly.
So there's just so much that Long Beach has to offer.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I decided that I also wanted to open in Long Beach, as opposed to should I go back out to LA and open there? Or should I go back, down to I don't know, OC, Newport or something. It felt like the right place, and the right thing to do was to be here.
I love that. Yeah. And I love how we're emphasizing on Long Beach community, because that's my thing. I love that. All right. Well, tell us about you a little bit. Is this your first business, first shop type thing?
It is. It's my first shop. While I've never considered myself an entrepreneur, I would say that it doesn't feel like it's been my first business, because I've had other sort of, whether or not you want to call it side hustles or freelance kind of experiences, that I'd say most of my adult life has been working for a variety of different companies on my own terms and on my own time. So I think this was just it just made sense to have this be my next step. But with that said, what's great is that I have worked, for, I worked in tourism for the government of Australia, actually.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. I was able to promote tourism to Australia from the US Canada and Latin America. So,
Wow.
and I did all of the creative production for them.
That sounds like a
So
dream job.
it was fun, but it was like I had to do the commute out to LA, like
yeah, that's a lot. It takes
all
a
the
toll.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, look at you. I love that. Okay. And so I was going to ask you, what did you do before the Wellest? Would you say it was the tourism?
Yeah, I mean, like I was a journalist for a while.
Oh, I could see that too.
So I love writing. And I write for my blog for the Wellest. And that sort of helped me segue into marketing. So I managed websites for other companies, social media, all of the things that come along with content.
You are well equipped.
And then that kind of rolled into the creative production. And then my last full-time position was just last year. I was the associate creative director at a pretty big company. So
awesome.
Yeah. And then I kind of I've been wanting to do this, open the shop. I started pop-ups and street fairs in Long Beach during the pandemic, and then opened up or launched my website for e-commerce sales in 2021, all while I was working full-time.
Wow.
And then 2021 I did that, and then I also rented a space in a shop in the east side of Long Beach called Fair Trade Long Beach.
Okay.
So I still have that space today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I kind of slowly transitioned and moved and grew, and then saved up for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are just awesome.
Thank you. Thank
you.
It's been fun. It's been a wild ride, but it's been fun.
It sounds like it. Oh my gosh, I'm a little jelly. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, you get to go around and show people houses. I swear, years ago, years, when I was really young, I used to love houses and design so much. Mm-hmm. When I was 13, I had a notebook, and I would kind of similar to the way that I would, I woke up with the dream of the name of the business.
Yeah.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, had this art book next to my bed, and I would draw houses that I dreamed of. Oh my God. I would dream of these amazing houses like this. I remember this house on the side of a cliff, overlooking the ocean, and I it was really strange. I don't know, probably in hindsight, it probably would have been sort of what's the one out in the one with all of the different stairs and can't think of anyway.
Is it on Ocean?
No. There's a house in Central California or something that people go and visit. But it was kind of interesting, in this my dream state. But yeah, I would just sit there and sketch out the houses, and I thought back then that maybe I would want to be an architect, because I would come up with these ideas about design. But the cool thing is that I've been able to take my interest in design and create my space here.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
It all comes full circle.
It always does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you're into astrology, but what's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini.
Yes,
my mom's a Gemini. I love Geminis.
Nice. Yeah. My mom has always said that because I have two sisters younger than me, they are twins. Ooh. So my mom always said that she had two sets of twins.
Oh, that's funny.
It's the Gemini.
The two-sided. Yep. I feel you.
There you go.
Now, do you have any fur babies or any pets?
I have a cat that I've rescued. It was actually a community cat. And it came to my house, to my backyard quite often, and, looking for love, and then kind of started petting it, then started feeding it, and then took it inside and got it neutered, and then I said, oh, he can't go outside, and he has to stay. No,
yeah, he's mine now.
He's mine. Yeah.
What's his name?
He
Many
wouldn't
names.
want me to tell you. He would be embarrassed.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. What's the biggest lesson you think that you've learned being a business owner?
Well, there's never a dull day, that's for sure. I would say also because, what I'm doing obviously is retail, which I had worked in retail before, like when I was younger. But I think that, learning, what's been fun is learning a business that I'm literally learning on the job. Like I'm in the middle of it, doing what I think, is the best thing to do. And then something happens or somebody comes in and says something, like offers some like, what if you did this? Or what if you did that? Or, I talk to other business owners who are doing things and they have ideas and like, just kind of going with it. Like having like this whole world of just amazing possibility reveal itself to me has been, I can't, like, it's like, I'm almost without words. Like, I don't know how to explain. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
I can imagine because you're obviously dealing with like finances and numbers, but then you're also dealing with creativity and designing the space. And then you're also dealing with people and sourcing items. So it's very well-rounded.
Every part of the business. In fact, I just had a conversation with a cousin of mine today who also started her own business last year out in Burbank. And we were, kind of chatting, and I said, like, the craziest thing about this whole experience is that I feel not like a different person and like I'm a completely different person, but I feel like just stepping into this role, like just opening the doors, signing the darn lease.
Yeah.
Like signing a lease for, the contract to buy a house, like just signing my name to something and then making it come to happen, making it come to fruition, and like envisioning all of this and then bringing it to life, willing it to life in some ways, and then like constantly looking like, what else can I add, or what can I change, or like there's a whole life to having a business. There just really like there's a whole life to being a homeowner. And I just feel like from here on out, no matter what happens with this business, no matter what happens with me, from here on out, I'm going to look at the world in a completely different way.
Exactly.
And that feels like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I want to cry. Like saying that, it's so weird. Like, okay. No, like I just, in my stomach, like I just feel like it makes me feel so happy.
Yeah.
That I did that, that I took the leap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely really empowering.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I like to do this, is because I feel like, the economy depends so much on small businesses, and we need to empower each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's so nice to meet like my neighbors, my next door neighbors, or I've become close with the Johnny next door. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
She told me,
Yeah. I mean, I love her.
She's so sweet.
Oh my gosh. And then Tammy, a couple places down, the nail place. Like she just knows everybody in town.
Ooh, I should go meet her.
Yeah. And it's just like, I met the owner of Steelhead Cafe on the corner.
Steelhead
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's amazing. Like, so it's been great to meet the other business owners and just, I don't know, like there's a beautiful community within small business ownership.
Exactly.
As well as the community of like residents, and having them come in and just stop in to see how I'm doing, and like that's one of the things that I actually do love about retail, or about like having a shop, is being able to talk with people and like hear their stories and share my story, and You know, like, I think that's also why I wanted to make sure that I had a physical space as opposed to just an online.
Yeah.
Because you can still share those stories, or you can still have conversations, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know, on video and on social media and whatnot. But
it's definitely different.
There's something like, you know, like that firsthand, like sitting there and having like eye to eye, you know, and talking with the person, and like, I don't know, just hearing like what happened to them today at, you know, at work or whatever.
Aww.
You know, like I like that communication, and I like that connection a lot.
I love it. I'm vibing with you so much right now. I see a lot of really great products in here. I know you mentioned a little bit of the categories, but what would you say is like your favorite, or what are you super passionate about in here? I'm sure everything.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because kind of like how I've said, and I keep looking over here because obviously that's where all of my stuff is. But,
and we'll show them.
Okay. But like I said, you know, having the business has been, it's like things just, you know, the life of a business just reveals itself to you, similarly to the product categories. Mm-hmm. So when I started the pop-up, actually even rewind back to 8 years ago.
Okay.
When I was having the skincare problems, that was like the first thing. The first thing was like I was having these like issues with my skincare, and I like inflammation, and I would wake up and I couldn't even open my eyes. It was horrible.
Oh, no.
It was horrible. And like I was going through that for a while. Like I went to multiple specialists, could not figure out what was going on, and started eliminating my products one by one to try to figure out, like, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? So skincare was the first thing that I was like, okay, I've got to look into what ingredients are in my products, because something, my body is not, it's responding in a very negative way to whatever I'm using. Mm-hmm. So that was the first thing that I thought, like, it has, maybe it's like a clean beauty shop. And at that time, Credo Beauty, which is one of my favorites, they had only, I think they had only had like one store in San Fran. So it started with beauty, and then I started like noticing issues with like blood sugar issue, you know. So, and then I was like, okay, I have to like look at all of the foods that I'm eating. Yep. What am I drinking? What am I, you know, like what has a lot of sugar, and how do I like reduce the sugars that I'm consuming? So, you know, like my journey has sort of helped me decide really what's going to be in the store.
Yeah.
And then also like knowing about the toxic ingredients that are in skincare. You know, I was like, well, what's in this counter spray that I'm using? You know, because I'm breathing it in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm spraying this stuff on my kitchen counters, and like I can smell it, and it's really strong. And what is that?
Yeah.
You know, and starting to look at like my cleaning products at home. So when I launched with the pop-up in 2020, I had on my tables, I had clean beauty, I had health, like sort of health focused or wellness focused home essentials, and then I had some eco-friendly home goods. So the beeswax food wraps were one of the first.
Loved, by the way.
Yeah. And those, and then like the dryer balls, those kind of things. So that's where I started. And then as I kind of grew with the online shop and opened up the location at Fairtrade Long Beach, I started bringing in more fair trade items because I was at a place called Fairtrade Long Beach. Right. So, you know, and then that was, I brought in some accessories, jewelry, purses, you know, and those were like fair trade items. And I did all of this before I opened the store.
Look at that.
And then last year, as I was kind of in my mind developing what the store was going to be, I had a conversation with somebody who is in like the beverage industry, and we were talking about how I like to go out with my friends, but I don't always want to drink. I want to go and like sit at a bar and order a non-alcoholic beverage. And he said, well, maybe you can just order a mocktail. I'm sure they could create something.
But then all the sugar. Yeah.
Bingo, right? Yeah. Because like my issue was that I need to really watch my sugar intake. So if I'm ordering a mocktail, it's probably going to be super fruity. It's going to be filled with sugars, like simple syrups, all of that kind of stuff. And I can't do that. So where does somebody like me, or where does like somebody who's like trying, I don't know, dry January or whatever, like what do we like, where do we go and what do we do? So I was like, he goes, well, you have an online store. Why aren't you selling non-alcoholic beverages? Bam. You're like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. Yes. Like, why didn't I think about that? That's so crazy. So I tested it out for a couple of weeks and I started selling. I got sales online from like Brooklyn, from Texas, like they just started coming in. And so that, because it's also one of my newest categories, but it's also like right now it's so new.
It's becoming more and more common.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that is to me, like at the moment, my most exciting and like what I'm most passionate about. But I of course can't like not, like I don't have a love loss of anything else that I sell. I also recently started selling more fair trade jewelry, which like I moved. I don't know if you remember the last time you were in. It was
a little different.
Yeah. So I had all my home goods in the front and then the jewelry was on a smaller table in the back. But the jewelry started taking off. More people were interested in getting the jewelry. And then, so I'm actually working with a few different people. And so I moved it all to the front. And it's in a larger space and it's beautiful. I like beautiful things. So
yeah, it is beautiful.
So that's also been pretty exciting for me, is to see the jewelry expand.
I love that. Yeah. And I'm a little off script here, but what does fair trade mean?
So fair trade means that we are making sure that the people who are being paid for their work, for their labor, are being paid fairly. That, that they're healthy work environments, or that at least like depending on obviously what the industry is, like health is a tough thing for like, I'm not a doctor, so so I'm not going to go there.
Disclaimer.
But, yes. But but we just want to make sure that there's care and consideration for the well-being of the people that are working there. And like that they're not overworking, that they're not, that they're being well compensated for the work that they're actually doing, the area that the business is in. So for fair trade, it's like, for instance, I have a line of Ecuadorian fair trade products. So the women that I work with, one of them, she's from Ecuador. She goes there, she has a house there, her mother lives there. She goes there every year and she one-on-one meets with all of the makers. She designs the jewelry. She like makes sure that she knows that all of them are going through a very like strict process of like taking care of the people that are making the products. And I love that. And then what I love also about her product is that all of her products come from a nut. I can actually show you that. They all come from a nut. It's called the tagua nut, and it grows on a palm tree, it's a palm tree in the Amazon rainforest.
Oh my gosh!
And the pods are sort of like, they constantly like replenish themselves. They take the pod, and you'll see it in a second. They take the pod off of the palm tree, they cut it open. There are these little nuts inside that, like, once you kind of scrape down the outer shell, it's white. They look a lot like ivory.
Okay.
So ivory obviously comes from elephant tusks, which I don't condone. I don't support whatsoever. So the idea, this tagua nut is another word for it is vegetable ivory. So
Got
yeah,
it.
so the idea is that it's a sustainable process. You're using a material that can essentially replace the animal ivory, and then they hand dye it with like sort of ancient ways of dyeing with like indigo,
yes,
with fruits,
berries.
Yeah. So it's just it's in their culture. It's cultural significance. It's eco-friendly. It is caring for the animals. Like making sure that if more people use tagua, then hopefully the ivory trade will,
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I really love to do, is to think about the entire life cycle of a product. Where does it come from? Like, how is it created? How does it come from whatever it starts in, and how is it formulated or created? And then who are the people behind that creation? Are we caring about those people, even if they're, thousands of miles, or lands away? Like, are we as consumers caring about like every step of the process? Like, for me, one of the reasons why I started the Wellest and why I wanted it to be a place of where I'm like benefiting, I'm hoping that the shop is benefiting the well-being of people, animals, and planet. Aww. Is that because like I want people to think more about.
Yeah, you got me thinking right
now. Like everything, because like I totally believe that we are all connected. I believe that we are all connected. I believe that, like I'm connected to this chair, connected to the ground. Yep. And not just like the floor, but what's underneath the ground, like connected to the birds that are sitting, outside on the tree. And when one thing in my mind, when one thing is off balance, everything else goes in a spinning wheel, and it throws everything else off balance. And we've seen that in a lot of ways in society and around the world today. And I think if there's like more places that think in those terms, that think of like welcoming and being part of the community and giving back to the community, not just my like small space community, but like a larger worldwide community, I just think like what an amazing world it would be if more people were out there doing that, if more people were thinking about how they're spending their money, how they're spending their time, like instead of tearing people down. Like, absolutely. I don't know.
I love it.
I know. I'm not standing up on the soapbox. Sorry. I just get into
passionate.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And it's really good to put that out there and get people to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
Which I think small percentage of people are, but if we can do our little part to
oh my gosh,
domino effect
just imagine.
Then I'm in.
Yeah. Like imagine if more people were just like thought in the bigger scheme of that, like the beauty of giving back. And I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I adore you. Okay. Best-selling item?
Single most best-selling item? That's a tough one.
Okay.
That's actually a real tough one, because I would say like I get 1 week, it'll be like a 2-week period, it'll be like this one thing. Everybody wants this one thing. And then like the next week or something, it's like all of a sudden I'm getting people coming in for this other thing, and they're like, oh yeah, that's great, but like I actually like this other thing over there.
Oh, cool.
It's so interesting. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but maybe it's like the brands are doing marketing or something. I don't know what that is, but it's you know, it's a nice, like, it sort of rotates.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I like that for you.
I do, one of the brands that I sell, Salt and Stone.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they've been, from day one, it's actually one of the first brands that I carried when I was even doing the pop-up. And they've always been good, but like they apparently have put more marketing effort into getting the word out there. And so it's great because I do have people that come in and they're like, wow, you have Salt and Stone here. This is awesome. Like, yeah, this is where I'm going to come get my deodorants or, you know, whatever it is. So that's been awesome. Another brand that does really well here is Dessois, which is Katy Perry's non-alcoholic beverage brand. Yeah, it's really good. So that one does well. But yeah, I can show you around.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little video tour after.
Yeah.
And then online shop, you said you have?
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that, where we can find it?
So it's the Wellest Life. Oh, just like the lights just went off. Like, what was it? Just got brighter.
Hello.
The wellestlife.com. And that is also the handle for my social media. Right now, I'm really only doing Instagram and Facebook. I would love to be able to do TikTok and a couple of others, but
Girl,
I just
I'm
like
with you. It's
too
much.
It's hard enough for me to even get like the others that I have right now.
Trust me, I get it.
Soon enough.
I get it.
But yeah, so the wellestlife.com and then the Wellest Life is my handle. And that actually, I had a podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a podcast. And I've been kind of circulating the idea of bringing it back.
Do it.
So
even if it's like once a month.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because that was actually one of my first things when I did the pop-up back in 2020. I did this podcast, and it was a way for me to connect with some of the brands or the other business owners that were in the same or similar kind of space. To just, because everything was like Zoom, you know, back then. So, I mean, I guess it still is today, but that was when it kind of all
predominantly,
started, so like I would, do the podcasts over Zoom so that I could like meet other business owners and like, just kind of see what they were doing to change the world.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like I've been feeling pulled towards doing that again.
Yes.
We'll
I
see.
think you should. Well, I think that is all we have.
Okay.
So you said people can get a hold of you through the wellestlife.com and the Wellest Life handle on Instagram. I'll make sure to tag those on the screen at the end of the video. And if you guys know of anyone else who would like to be interviewed, let me know. Shout out. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to come into the Wellest. It is just magical in here. You get a little taste of everything.
It's like so cool. This is my favorite little wall here.
I love it.
This wall is also about like it sort of has the stories behind it of like my entire journey. This is called the organic matter, I think is what the picture is called. But anyway. Yes. I have this little lounge, I have a little bar, I have chilled beverages that you can come and buy and sit and drink and hang out, non-alcoholic beverages.
Yes, I'm a huge fan. So please come on by and we will see you guys next time. Bye.